Hi there. Has your little one been afraid to fall asleep at night? Have they been complaining about nightmares after they wake up in the morning or before they get ready to go to bed at night? Well, today I'm going to give you some different approaches on how you can help them, along with some ways on how you can help them cope with these different nightmares. All right, so let's get into it. So, first, I just want to normalize that nightmares are very common. In fact, pretty much everyone has them now and again. And they're actually very common for young children to experience them, especially between the ages of 3 to 6, maybe 7, to where you may have them complain about nightmares. And for little kids at this age, this can be significantly distressing. But I want you to keep in mind that one of the reasons why this is so distressing for them is because this may be one of the first times that they've had a nightmare like this, or it may be one of the first times that they've been able to verbalize that they've had a nightmare. Another thing to watch out for is that maybe they're having some of the monsters that are in their dreams come out into waking life to where they're afraid of the boogeyman that's living in their closet or a werewolf that's lurking outside of their window at night. I will confess that me as a child, I had a lot of nightmares. And for me, it was something that was in the closet, but it was also, and this will kind of give away my age a little bit to where I was a kid in the 90s, there was this movie called Ernest Scared Stupid. And there was this troll in there called Trantor the Troll. And even though that movie is hilarious and fun, I watched it a bazillion times, that troll was just terrifying. And I remember having nightmares about that troll right outside my window as a kid. So, for little ones that are afraid of their dreams and afraid of their nightmares, again, you may see them saying that their monsters are all over the house, under the bed, in the closet, in the chimney, literally everywhere. So, that brings us to, as a parent, how do you handle this? My biggest advice, and if you get anything from this video, is to give your kids autonomy. Make them gain control over their fears. What we want is to give them the sense that they're the hero. They're the knight that's going to slay the dragon. They're going to be Luke that's taking down the empire. Because in the end, they're the ones that control their own fear. So then how do we do this? And before we get into that, I just want to remind you to like and subscribe to this video and the channel. It really helps me and YouTube know what sort of content that you like so I can keep producing more of this for you. So how do we go about this? How do we help them? Well, we're going to first use some relaxation techniques. And the easiest one to do is keep bedtime routine the same. If you, after dinner, you go take a bath, brush your teeth, you wind down on the couch a little bit, and then they shuffle off to bed, keep doing that. Keep doing the same thing night after night. Doing something predictable and engaging in the same routine lowers anxiety. Another thing you can do when they're in bed is practice some deep breathing. And a particular technique is called box breathing. And so, what I mean by that is you're going to breathe in for 4, pause for 4, and then breathe out for 4, pause for 4, and then repeat. Do it at least 3, if not 5 times in a row, and it's going to bring down their anxiety. And you guys can count together. You can try to make it a little bit fun, but again, keep in mind, this is going to be a relaxation technique just to bring down the anxiety. Because if your child is really elevated before they're going to bed, or if they're afraid of their nightmares, what you want to do is make them feel nice and relaxed so they can ease off and sleep. So then how do we give them autonomy? How do we give them the tools to take down this monster that's been chasing them in their dreams, or the boogeyman that's in their closet, whether it's in real life or in their dreams? We give them autonomy. One strategy that we can do is to give them and I've used this strategy in therapy before, to where I'll give them a dream shield and a dream sword. And I'll encourage parents to do this too, to where, and you got to use your imagination with kids. Kids believe in the unseen things. They believe in magic. So if you really sell this, they'll buy into it. To where I'm going to give you a dream shield, and this is going to fend off anything mean in your dreams. And I'm going to give you a dream sword, so that when you run across that monster again, you can fight him. And in waking life, you can't see it. But when you fall asleep, you're going to have these things with you. That might feel like lying to them, but essentially what you're doing is you're priming their mind up to take this on. What are you not doing? You're not reassuring and telling them, oh, you won't have a nightmare tonight. You don't know that. Maybe they will. But giving them the tools to take care of their own fear. You're literally handing them these invisible tools so that they can slay the beast. They can take down the nightmare, not you. Another thing to try is to give them what's called a safety object. So what's a safety object? This is something that you can literally give to your child that makes them feel more secure and more safe. So if you're religious, maybe that's a crucifix, or maybe that's the Star of David. If you're not, maybe it's something else. Maybe it's a stuffed animal that they really like. Or maybe it's something personal of yours that you're giving to them that will help protect them. And in doing this, it kind of does what we did before with the relaxation techniques and keeping the routine the same, is it brings down the anxiety. Because if you bring down the anxiety before they go to sleep, it's going to decrease the chance that they have a nightmare that night. So what else can we do on top of these things? Well, giving them the dream sword, you've given them a safety object. What can you do? Pump them up a little bit, that they can take this on. They can do it. And essentially with nightmares and with fear in real life is to encourage them to turn and face the fear. Sometimes kids will have what's called lucid dreaming, where they might be able to remember some things in waking life and take that into their dreams. And even if you pump them up and tell them about these things, they may make that unconscious decision on their own while they're asleep to turn and face the monster. Because that's how we handle our fear in real life too, right? We don't run away from what we're afraid of. In order to really deal with our anxiety and our fear, we've got to turn and face it, and we've got to fight it. And essentially what we're doing is we're teaching our children at a really young age to start doing that with their own fear. That's what I mean about giving them the autonomy back. You're giving them the keys to control their own fear. And sometimes in dreams, when you have your kid turn and face what's bothering them, it changes it, right? It changes whatever that monster is or that shadow figure is, and they can start to engage it. Maybe they fight it, maybe they talk to it, but it will change. And what you're not doing is running away from it. So when you start engaging with the fear, instead of running away, we can learn how to live with it instead of run away from it. So if you like this video, please hit like and subscribe. It helps YouTube know to send this video out to other folks that are curious about this topic. Also, if you really liked this video, please check out my channel where I'm going to talk more about child mental health issues. Go ahead and check that out. All right, I'll see you there. Bye-bye.